Joining me now is visiting fellow at the US Study Centre and Sky News contributor Bruce Wolpe. Bruce, well...
Good morning. Dramatic week, big week.
Donald Trump wants a trial.
Donald Trump, well, the precedents are that there will be a trial.
Yeah.
There's really very little discretion for the president. I believe that this week was very important for the Democrats in making their case. They prosecuted it aggressively. They had several witnesses. And on the key issues, did the president direct activity to get an investigation on the Bidens out of the Ukraine? It's there, and they believe that they can go forward with confidence on their case.
Now, just a few hours ago as well, President Trump on Friday, basically, he said that along a negotiated trade deal with China is potentially very close, and it also follows, Bruce, the reports on the agreement that might not be reached until next year. Yes,
it's going back and forth. The president clearly believes that he's in a strong position, that wherever the trade talks are, tariffs are coming into the United States. He believes he has more negotiating leverage than the Chinese. China has invited the American negotiators to Beijing. That's a very important thing to watch. If they go over, that means we might be closer to a deal. There is a complicating factor. Congress passed by overwhelming margins, near unanimous, a bill on Hong Kong, pro-Hong Kong. The president has to sign that bill if it's going to come into law. The Chinese have denounced that bill. So if the president signs it, it could come right at the moment when the trade talks are reaching fruition. It could completely upend the trade talks. So this is a very delicate, complicated position that we're in right now on the trade talks because of this Hong Kong legislation.
Let's get back to the impeachment inquiry. There are basically a total of 12 witnesses at the public impeachment hearings over the past 2 weeks. We've had 9 in the space of a week, a very, very busy one. We've got some key witnesses that you've mentioned. Let's talk first of all about Fiona Hill. We've got a 30-second grab that we'll play first of all.
Okay.
The impact of the successful 2016 Russian campaign remains evident today. Our nation is being torn apart. Truth is questioned. Our highly professional and expert career foreign service is being undermined. US support for Ukraine, which continues to face armed Russian aggression, has been politicised. Right now, Russia's security services and their proxies have geared up to repeat their interference in the 2020 election. We are running out of time to stop them. In the course of this investigation, I would ask that you please not promote politically driven falsehoods that so clearly advance Russian interests.
The driver on everything that President Trump has done is he believes that Ukraine was working with the Democrats and that Ukraine did nothing on the Bidens, and therefore, and that presented the reason for Trump trying to do what he did with Ukraine. The professionals, as we see from Dr. Hill and we saw from a litany of witnesses, was, sorry, that's just a conspiracy theory. It is absolutely untrue, and it has corrupted the foreign policy processes of the United States. And the Democrats have landed at a position where they believe the president acted improperly, abused his office by trying to get a political investigation by Ukraine, a foreign government, of his main political opponent. That is the heart of the impeachment matter. They believe they nailed it with all the witnesses that you mentioned coming before the committee this week. And on that basis, they're going to go forward, prepare a report, and go to the Judiciary Committee to get articles of impeachment drafted and presented.
Yeah, another big one was Gordon Sandlin. A very interesting relationship that he has with Trump.
As you know, a lot of ambassadors, including the ambassador to Australia, are political appointees, people who have worked with the president and so forth. Gordon Sandlin was a major contributor to the Trump impeachment, Trump inauguration, I'm sorry, funding. And he became ambassador to the European Union, and then he was charged with responsibility over Ukraine. It was an unusual relationship. And he carried out what he believed the president wanted. And he worked with Rudy Giuliani, and he worked with Secretary of State Pompeo and Vice President Pence and others to work this agenda of having Ukraine investigate the Bidens. He gave 3 different versions of his testimony, but finally this week he laid out what he knew. Now the Republicans are saying, you never heard the president directly saying, I want to get the Bidens. And Sandlin said, that's right, I never heard it directly, but I assumed that's what he was doing. So there's a little wiggle room in his testimony. Trump has seized on that. The Republicans have seized on that. No direct proof. Why are you impeaching the president? But nevertheless, he was probably the key witness over the past 2 weeks.
Yes, definitely. And, well, it doesn't really seem like there's any indication that Trump is going to resign. We looked at President Nixon, who resigned before the impeachment process began, or the inquiry. But, yeah, no indication there at all. What are his options? Talk us through the next steps.
The president believes that this is, he hates this. He believes it is a witch hunt. He believes it's illegitimate. He believes it's unconstitutional.
We're actually just looking at some live pictures. Sorry to interrupt there, Bruce, but yes, we've got some live pictures now. This is, of course, here President Donald Trump. But getting back to the impeachment.
He believes he's in a strong position. All the Republicans, not one Republican has shaken loose and said, I support impeachment. Not one Republican senator has defected. So he believes he can quash this thing. But still, an impeachment is a stain on your record as president. Ask Bill Clinton. He was not happy that he was impeached. Trump will likely survive this. And then the question is he stronger or weaker coming out of it? Democrats believe he'll be weaker. That'll help them in November 2020. Trump believes he'll be stronger and he can crush any Democrat in 2020. So that's where we are.
Well, that's what we've been talking about this whole scenario.
It's going to continue.
In terms of Nancy Pelosi saying that, well, when she actually brought this forward, the question was, is it going to build his...
Originally, she thought it wasn't worth impeaching him, that it would be politically unpopular. But they believe that what they saw was so serious an abuse of power that they need to do it. And the Democrats they will vote to impeach before Christmas. And this trial will occur in January. And then we will see where we stand.
Any latest on the whistleblower?
The whistleblower's identity is people say that they know who the whistleblower is, he or she. President Trump says he knows who the whistleblower is. But the fact is that the whistleblower pulled the alarm and said, this is going on. I don't think you need the whistleblower's testimony to make a case against the president because everybody else has corroborated what the whistleblower was concerned about. But nevertheless, the president believes the whistleblower is an enemy of the president, and he wants to expose the whistleblower and attack him or her.
All right, let's talk about the Democratic debate. Michael Bloomberg has taken another step forward by filing paperwork with the Federal Election Commission to run as a Democratic. So how's that looking?
He's looking like a 70-year-old candidate with a lot of money getting into the race.
That's right.
The question is, what is Bloomberg's base? Why is he doing this? He thinks that the Democrats could nominate someone so far to the left that they would lose the election. And he is a big centrist. And he doesn't have confidence that Joe Biden or Pete Buttigieg or Kamala Harris or Cory Booker or Amy Klobuchar, he doesn't have confidence that they will command the nomination and take the fight to the president. He thinks he can do that. But again, what is his base inside the Democratic Party? As a very wealthy businessman, we have a wealthy businessman as president. Is he the antidote to Donald Trump? But he has $50 billion. He can spend a couple $100 million in the primaries coming up, buy a lot of television, do a lot of social media. So he's not going to go down the early primaries. He's going to contest Super Tuesday. That's California, Texas, the Carolinas, Virginia, Colorado, and see if he can get something going. I don't think he's going to get very far.
Okay. The next debate is on the 19th of December. If he decides to move through, and obviously he's got the right money and the votes and so forth, will he be able to make that debate?
He has to have a threshold of polling support. He has to demonstrate a certain level of polling support and a certain level of contributions from other people in order to qualify for that debate. We'll see whether he can get either of those.
Do you think he is best positioned to take on Donald Trump?
No, I think that the best person to take on Donald Trump will be someone from the center. Right? Joe Biden has shown some resilience. I mean, he's not in a commanding position. Pete Buttigieg, as we've discussed, has been rising steadily, and he is definitely from the center, but he's 37 years old and a small-town mayor. Does he have enough gravitas to be president? People were impressed in the debate with Amy Klobuchar, a senator, and she has a lot of sensibility, common sense, and an appealing nature. Kamala Harris has been fading. But if the Democrats really want to win, they're going to have to get someone from the center who can have a broader coalition to take on Trump, who has his base, but hasn't been able to expand beyond his base.
The next few weeks, Bruce, talk us through it. There's a lot going to be happening.
What's going to happen, Thanksgiving is next week, Jane.
Yes.
We can sit down, eat some turkey, and enjoy ourselves.
Okay. Good.
Congress comes back December 2nd. The House Intelligence Committee will do its report on what they found. They will send that to the Judiciary Committee. So the week of December 9, I see the House Judiciary Committee considering the evidence and drafting articles of impeachment against the president. And then they will vote on that and send that to the House floor. So I think the big votes on impeachment will be the week of December 16th, and you will have a debate and vote on whether the President of the United States should be impeached.
Always great to talk to you.
Happy Christmas, Jamie.
Happy Christmas to you too. Thank you very much, Bruce Wolpe.